US air giant Boeing is facing more scrutiny over the safety of one of its best-selling planes. Federal authorities have ordered an immediate grounding and inspection of some Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft. This follows an Alaska Airlines flight in which a fuselage panel blew out after takeoff, leaving a gaping hole in the plane. It later landed safely with no major injuries.
Emma Vu took a pre-flight selfie before boarding an Alaska Airlines flight from Portland, Oregon, bound for Ontario, California. For her, it was a normal flight, until it wasn't.
I'm sleeping and I just feel the plane drop, and it wasn't like any other turbulence just because the mask head came down too. So that's when I knew, like, oh gosh, this is something way different. And yeah, I started freaking out.
A piece of the fuselage tore off the left side of the jet as it climbed out of Portland.
The whole door flew off. But yeah, I'm so grateful we weren't higher in the air, that more things didn't fly out, that no one flew out. I think that's incredible that we're all safe.
The hole was left by a panel that the plane's manufacturer, Boeing, designed to cover the space for an optional escape door. It tore away from the plane.
And had the aircraft been at higher altitude, at cruising altitude, for example, maybe more passengers would have unbuckled their belt, could even have been moving about the cabin, and then certainly would have been a risk of loss of life with passengers potentially able to be sucked out of the aircraft.
The pilot made an immediate emergency landing back in Portland, with all 174 passengers and 6 crew members unhurt. Back on the ground, it all sank in for Emma Vu.
I think it's just crazy. Like, when we were standing in line at guest services waiting to get rebooked and everyone's looking at that picture together, I was like, oh my gosh, like, that is like literally like entire door or panel of the plane that flew out. I still am feeling a little shaky. I really want to go see my friends and my boyfriend, so that's what I'm looking forward to.
The plane was a brand new 737 MAX 9, Boeing's best-selling plane. On Saturday, federal officials ordered the immediate grounding of all 737 MAX 9 jetliners until they are inspected. Boeing says it fully supports the FAA's decision.
Anthony Brickhouse is Professor of Aerospace Safety at the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in the US. Welcome back to DW. Tell me, what went through your mind when you saw this?
Good morning, Jared. It was absolutely shocking. Last night, my time, Friday evening, when I first started getting pictures of this event. Just happy, it worked out successfully. And now, as safety investigators, we need to find out exactly what happened.
The aircraft was brand new, 2 months old. How do you think something like this could have happened?
It's really early to say right now what exactly happened, but whenever we have a structural failure, there's a definite reason why it happened. Structures do not fail for random reasons. And I'm confident the NTSB and Boeing and Alaska Airlines will get in there and they'll figure out what happened.
What do you think they're going to be trying to identify and be looking for as they investigate?
The good thing about the materials that we use to make aircraft is that they literally will tell you a picture. So investigators are going to be keen to look at the damaged aircraft as it sits on the ramp. They'll also be looking for that piece of door or structure that came off. And they're going to visually inspect it. They'll probably microscopically inspect it. And they'll be able to piece it back together because the material will actually tell a story.
Now, Professor, this seems to be another mark against the Boeing MAX fleet. Of course, the plane was grounded worldwide almost 5 years ago after 2 crashes. A lot of people are probably wondering, is this really a safe plane to fly in?
Yes, we're well aware of the 2 tragic accidents involving the MAX 8. This is a MAX 9, and it's really early in the investigation to really point any fingers. And as safety professionals, what we focus on is not about blame. It's about finding out what happened so that we can make necessary changes to make the industry as safe as possible.
So are you saying that these 2 incidents, so these crashes a couple of years ago and this latest incident, don't really have anything to do with each other?
No, it could be a totally separate situation. It's really early in the investigation. The two MAX 8 crashes did not involve what we would consider a structural failure, where it appears that this event did involve a structural failure. So I know because it's, two Boeing aircraft, one would like to connect the dots, but it's very early in the investigation, and this appears to be a totally separate type of event.
Right, and you are right, it is very early in the investigation. Tell us, though, this is, I guess, a kind of a PR disaster for Boeing. What does Boeing and, of course, US regulators need to do to convince people that it really is okay to fly in planes like this?
Well, as of right now, this is Saturday evening, my time here in Florida in the US. United Airlines has grounded several of their MAX 9s. Alaska Airlines has grounded their MAX 9s under an emergency airworthiness directive from our Federal Aviation Administration. So all of those entities, the NTSB, Boeing, the airline, they're going to get together and they're going to make sure that inspections are done so that they can verify the safety of these aircraft before they get in the sky again.
And what about elsewhere? I mean, other regions around the world, particularly, I guess, here in Europe too, will be also looking to what US investigators managed to uncover.
Absolutely. The great thing about where we are right now, everybody communicates extremely well. So any country that has an airline operating the MAX 9, they'll be paying very close attention to how things play out in the US. And if it gets to a point where this is more of a systemic issue with the design of the aircraft, then we could very well see other airlines actually grounding their Boeing 737 MAX 9s.
Right. Great to get your insights, Professor of Aerospace Safety, Anthony Brickhouse in the US. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.